Welcome back, pro wrestling fans. Welcome back, IWC. As you can see, we are on the road once again. One man, unique, unedited, unscripted, raw dog for you, the fans, here for another episodic YouTube adventure on Chaos Corner, the show, on Guardian of Chaos, the YouTube channel. I just did an 18, almost 20-minute opening monologue on the state of pro wrestling in 2025 and all the different companies and what's going on, and shout outs and my personal opinions and feelings. I think you might want to check that out here on the channel. But what I'm here for today, leading into this weekend, AEW Forbidden Door. 17,000 fans are going to jam the O2 Arena over across the pond in London. Now, I believe in total between the pre-show, the 0 hour, and the main card, which has 9 matches, there'll probably be 13, 14 matches maybe. It starts at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday afternoon. I'm sure it'll go to anywhere between 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So expect it to be a long afternoon on Sunday into the evening. I'm going to give you a preview and predictions here. You know I watched the product. Old school mind with new school thoughts. You got to get with the times, although I don't really like the product in any of these companies. Let's get right into it. They've really thrown this together. They have over the last couple of years. Forbidden Door and the concept of these dream matchups from grapplers across the world, especially from the land of the rising sun, the Orient, if you will. Konnichiwa, bitches. Arigato from the Chaos-san. So it's really lost its way in its concept, as a lot of these pay-per-views do, especially in the WWE and AEW. And you could throw in TNA, too. Let's get into it. I'm going to give the preview and predictions. Drop an elbow on that like button. Give it an eye poke. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment. Shout out to Austin Nance and the OTS Tribal Queen, my mods. Here we go. This is in no particular order. And again, I'm not covering 0 hour matches, and I'm sure there'll be 3 or 4 of them. So I'm going to try to, I have my notes here, even though I'm on the road. On the road again. I can't wait to get on the road again. Lord, I was born a rambling man, trying to make a living and doing the best I can. Take the long way home, I take the long way home. So you think you're a Romeo, playing a part in the picture show. I take the long way home, long way home. All right, focus, Chaos, focus. We don't have much time here. Again, because I'm out running errands. I have a meeting tonight with the owner of Paradise, Mario Mancini. I'm always doing things with the board and the front office of Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling. You know, my home company on all social media platforms with the Paradise 4. And don't forget to go over and listen to the Power and Glory podcast on YouTube with Roma and Mancini. You won't regret it. So that's where you guys are going to be coming along with me. And I'm always on the road, it seems like. Ain't nothing matters more, like the old Captain Lou Albano said, the money and the miles. Again, no particular order. And if you hear somebody else talking in the background, it's Busted Open Pro Wrestling Nation. 24/7. Who knew? Pro wrestling would be 24/7 and making billions of dollars, going streaming all over the world with several huge conglomerate corporations, if that's the right term. Who knew? If you were from my area, you never would have saw this coming. No particular order. We're going to start off with the lights out steel cage match that's just been thrown together. I'm not quite sure why you have to have this match. I get the two sides and the competitors in it have some animosity. There's a minimal story. AEW has been trending with these multi-man and women matches, 3-man, 4, 8, 10, 12, 16, and I just don't understand it. It's lazy booking. And that's not because Jim Cornette says it. I've been saying that as long as he has. Where's the emotional investment? Where's the ring psychology? Where is the fucking storytelling? So the lights out steel cage match, it's going to be the returning Mount Everest boy, Darby Allin, along with Kenny Omega, Kota Ibushi, Bruv, which I still don't get, Will Ospreay, and Tanahashi. Now, if you saw Tanahashi last night, who's a New Japan legend, and I guess is the owner of the company now and is retiring and doing his retirement tour, so to speak, like Cena's doing over in the WWE, the man could barely walk, he could barely move, and it was obvious. Why are we doing this? You got to know when to hang them up, man. So that's the face side, to use what you marks and geeks and neckbeards and mouth breathers and virgins and dweebs and goons act like you never saw a pair of tits. That's what you guys use now. You want to use all these terms when you know nothing about it. No offense, man. Kayfabe. On the other side is Matthew and Nicholas, the former EVPs, the Jacksons, a.k.a. the Young Bucks, along with Gabe Kidd, Claudio Cesaro Castagnoli, and Dick the Boozer, a.k.a. Jon Moxley. I'm sure Marina High Life... Wait. Marina High Life. No. Marina Shafir will be lurking about, who knows where Wheeler Yuta will be, maybe on the 0 Hour show. Shafir is the one beer to have when you're having more than one. Bang, 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 bang. No? Too much? Too early? Too soon? So that's the lights out steel cage. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on 5. I'm obviously going to go with Darby Allin, Kenny Omega, Kota Ibushi, Bruv Ospreay, and Tanahashi. Konnichiwa, bitches, as I said earlier. Arigato from the Chaos-san. Definitely over the BCC Death Riders and the Young Bucks. We have the reunited, and it feels so good. Reunited, and it's understood. There's one thing we had. No. Peaches and Herb, reunited. Adam Copeland, a.k.a. Edge, Cope, whatever the fuck it is you want to call him. The Patriarchy, your daddy, who's your daddy, and Christian Cage. They haven't gotten together and teamed up in, 15 or 16 years? And the storyline certainly wasn't planned out in the way, if I had the pencil, and several other people, from what I understand, would have done the reuniting of Copeland and Cage, Edge and Christian. You threw it together last minute, kind of last minute. That's my thoughts, my belief, my opinion, and I think I fucking earned it. I don't deserve anything. You don't deserve anything. You got to earn it. You could have done it better. You could have extended this out, built it up with the whole Nick Wayne thing, who's now injured, and Mama Wayne. Talk about easy on the eyes. Copeland and Cage are reunited now temporarily. You could see that Cage is probably still trying to stick to his heel gimmick. Still trying to stick to that. You know he's going to end up softening up. I mean, Edge's run here has been a flop, a total flop. Just my opinion. And they're going against the returning Luchasaurus, a.k.a. Killswitch, and Kip Sabian, I'm sure with Mama Wayne, because we found out last minute, as happening in a lot of these bigger companies, especially the big two, the big three, if you will. I'll say the big one and 1A. Injuries because of the unbelievable, unnecessary, ridiculous risks that these grapplers feel like they need to take to please the fans that are live, that have the brain of a dehydrated baby. We're lighting people on fire. We got syringes. We have bricks to the head. We have tables, chairs, ladders. I mean, that's just the norm. Thumbtacks, barbed wire bed. What the fuck are we doing here? That's not pro wrestling. ECW's gone, man. There's a place and time for it, not in every match. And that's what today's wrestlers and stars do. And when you have one guy or just a few booking that never really been in the ring, TK, no offense, this is what you get for the product. So we're interested in this outcome. Obviously, I don't believe there's any fucking way that Edge and Christian lose to the returning Kill Switch and Kip Sabian. So that's another bout that was thrown together. That could have been on AEW Dynamite or Collision, this match. Just my opinion. And then we have, for the IWGP Championship, and I guess this is part of Forbidden Door. Forbidden. The guy's British, I believe, or from Great Britain or the UK, or Zack Sabre Jr., who's the IWGP champion, against Nigel McGuinness, who's also, I believe, from the London area across the pond. So you have two guys from across the pond on a Forbidden Door show for AEW that's supposed to be between the Japanese companies and the American companies for the most part. That was the original concept. A lot of fans like Nigel McGuinness from his days of Ring of Honor, and McGuinness is certainly in great shape, and he was an unbelievable grappler at one time. And I guess he can still go. To me, Zack Sabre Jr., they love him. I don't see Sabre Jr. losing to Nigel McGuinness. I think this is going to be a very solid technical bout, a la what pro wrestling used to be, and still can be. I'm taking and predicting Zack Sabre Jr. to defend against Nigel McGuinness. And I think I said there's no fucking way Edge and Christian lose to Sabian in Kill Switch, right? And I did say that in the lights out steel cage match, as I'm review quickly here, 10 minutes in, that I'm taking Alan Omega, Ibushi, Bruv, and the crippled Tanahashi. I believe I said that. Let's get rid of the Death Riders altogether. Leave Marina with Mox, but push Claudio and Kid and Yuta on Pac, on Persona non grata, onto something else. And I know I'm going backward to go forward, but I just wanted to make sure I put that out there. Lining up the skies with all... They're playing tic-tac-toe in the skies, this aircraft and this government. Use your head. Wake up. I don't want to bring politics into it or current state of affairs, because I'm here to be distracted from that, not like what they do in whether it be the NFL, the NBA, MLB, even the NHL, pro wrestling. Always got to bring something into it. These TV companies, these cable companies, ESPN, always push an agenda, and it's not an agenda that's going the right way. So we're here for a distraction, and I'm hoping that those who are listening remember that. Let's get away from this. We're here to have fun, man. Okay, we move on from McGuinness and Sabre Jr. to Swerve Strickland against Okada for the Unified Championship. I am interested in this match. Strickland is a future of the business, a former heavyweight champion. Nana will be in the house. Whose house? It's not Swerve's house anymore, because he's not in the main events. He's become a B player right now. So hopefully they can bring Strickland back somehow. Maybe put him in the Hurt business, the Hurt Syndicate. Maybe Powerhouse Hobbs in the Hurt Syndicate. I'm just saying. And not because they're all black, just because they fit and they have the right look. Get your head out of your ass, because your race card has been declined here on this show, on this channel. Strickland against Okada. It's great to see Okada's kind of off on his own. I guess he's still a part of the Don Callis family. He has stepped it up in the ring. I believe he's been overrated since he came here to the U.S. in AEW. One of the greatest grapplers in the world, especially over in the land of the rising sun. He has improved a lot here. Recently, he's gotten better. Do you give this mid-card title to Strickland? What do you do with Swerve? Where's he going? Can he afford to take this loss? Do you finally get the Unified Championships or the belt, TBS, TNT, Unified Intercontinental, International, whatever it is? Do you take it off Okada, who's had the belt has had a belt for a while? I would like to see Swerve win this, but I'm predicting Okada. I think Okada will retain. Again, I would like to see Swerve, and it wouldn't surprise me. He's earned it. So I'm a little on the fence on Okada and Strickland. Let me know what you think. Then we have Takahashi against Kyle Fletcher, perhaps one of the hottest stars in pro wrestling in any company, for the TNT title. Again, I don't understand. Last minute, a week or two before you get to Forbidden Door, you flood in all the Japanese stars and talent, and then you just make up these matches. Takahashi, another legend in Japan, a legend internationally. No way Fletcher loses this title, especially with Callis at ringside. Fletcher is also a part of the future in AEW and in pro wrestling. He's in incredible shape. He's an annoying prick, isn't he? Kind of like Logan Paul in the WWE. Similarities? People want to compare him to Randy Orton because he does the pose or whatever. No. Fletcher's kind of annoying and brings that kind of heat like Logan Paul, maybe. So I don't see Fletcher losing the TNT title to Takahashi. And the way they just throw this together, you got to get rid of this concept for a little while. We can't miss you if you don't go away for at least a little bit. No? So I'm going to take Fletcher over Takahashi. We have the three-way dance, if you will, three-way matchup that was just done in the last night or thought about in the last week. Because the Hurt Syndicate, MVP, they don't want a job or lose to anyone. You know what I say to all the people who say, who are you? You've been here for 15 minutes. You've been here less than a year. You won't job to Jet Speed. You won't job to FTR. You won't job to this one. And job these. Job these nuts. No offense, man. Who are they? They're Hall of Famers. MVP in his own right, especially as a manager. And then he knocked out Chris Jericho on the Jericho Cruise. Bank! Maybe that's why Jericho's leaving and going to the WWE. Rumored. That's another story for another time, Fozzy. Bobby Lashley's a Hall of Famer, a legend. Shelton Benjamin, a step behind. Whether they're in their late 40s, early 50s, whatever. Two legends. What do you mean who they are? I wouldn't be jobbing to those guys either. I get it. When you're ready to go out, maybe. But not now. They're the stars. They look like stars. They look like pro wrestlers. They look like unbelievable athletes. They don't want a job. But I get it. At least not now. They talk about creative control. Who's in control? Well, it's not TK because he agrees. He may think he is, but he agrees. And I think they've earned it. So for everyone out there saying, oh, they should job. Who are they? Why are they doing this? Why are they dictating? They've earned it. They're defending the titles against Dax and Cash, FTR, who back in 2020, 21, 22, maybe even to 2023, were one of the best tag teams on the planet. But man, the last year or two, they've been the shiznits, if you know what I'm talking about. They don't need Malcolm Bivens, Trey Bivens, whatever the fuck his name is, Stokely, I don't know. No offense against him. He's old school manager. He's trying to carry on the product. I get it. They don't need a manager. They didn't have a fucking manager. They don't need one. What are you doing with FTR? They have become nothing. And if you don't put the push behind them, your tag team division, which is terrible right now, will continue to be terrible. And then throw in Brodito, the dumbest name I ever heard in my life. Brody King and Bandito, who by themselves are incredible grapplers. This isn't with Pac and Aleister White, Black, whatever the fuck his name is. That's long gone. Get rid of the dumb mask gimmick, Brody King. You're a big monster. Tony Khan does not like to book big men, doesn't really know how to book big men. He doesn't belong in a tag team. Bandito is incredible, an incredible athlete, one of the best luchadors, and I could see him competing for the mid-card titles. Give him a shot, put him in the singles matches, but as a tag team, they've teamed together less than a handful of times. FTR the Revival are legends. I don't see the Hurt Syndicate losing this. It's going to be elimination style, so if you get pinned or tap out or submit, whatever the fuck it is, you're out, and then it becomes, instead of a three-way, it becomes one team against another team until the other team's eliminated. Then you have a championship. Lashley and Benjamin are not losing. I don't know, you're going to have MJF come out. He's got bigger fish to fry that night. Who's going to interfere? MVP? Who's going to take the pinfall? King and Bandito do not deserve these titles. FTR, I could say that they do, but I don't think it's happening at Forbidden Door. Not yet. So I'm going with the Hurt Syndicate to retain the tag team championships. It should be a physical match. A banger, as the kids say. So that's who I'll take, the Hurt Syndicate. Because you know what? Not only do they like to hurt people, I like to hurt people too. The Guardian of Chaos, Big Daddy. Next we have for the TBS title, the women's title, Sasha, Monet, Varnado, Banks, Mercedes. The TBS champion, with like a half dozen other belts, goes against Bozilla. I said it again, Bozilla, female grappler from Stardom. Persephone, if I said that right, Persephone, a CMLL lady star, and Alex Windsor, who the only, and listen, she's pretty solid in the ring, but the only reason she's got this push out of nowhere, like that's what they seem to do with the women's division and whatever the flavor of the month is because she's with Bruv. And that's just a fact. Just like Frank did, what's his name, Mordos, because he's with Mercedes. I mean, that's just a fact. You guys know that. I mean, it's the truth. Let's be honest here. That's what you're here for. So you're better off when you walk out of here than when you fucking walked in here. You come here to learn things. Not just opinions and views, facts. And I think like I said, I fucking earned it. Alex Windsor certainly getting a push out of nowhere, just like they did with Athena at one time. Then she was gone. Now she's back, thankfully. Thunder Rosa, persona non grata. Mercedes Martinez. I can go on. Yeah, you haven't heard that name in a while. Ivelisse. I can go on and on and on. Look what they've done to Megan Bain. They did it to Haley Harley, the puppet Cameron. They've done. I can name many other women's talent in that division. Willow, Chris Statlander. Flavor of the month, flavor of the week, and then go on. Especially what they've done with the Megasis, Megan Bain, who is your fucking future. She's a beast. Legs like kegs and shoulders like boulders, and you kick her to the curb this fast. Where is she? She's going to be on 0 hour. So this four-way, Windsor, Persephone, Bozilla, and Mercedes Monet will retain the TBS title. If they give it to Alex Windsor, then you know it's all politics, which it is anyway. All friends wrestling. I get it. It doesn't fit with the AEW. But you understand today's business that people say was political in the 70s and the 80s, especially in the 90s. And I can agree to that. But, man, everybody love everybody. ELE in today's business and industry. Monet will retain in the four-way for the women's TBS title. Speaking of women, we go for the women's AEW championship. Timeless Toni Storm. Now, I know, I scare the rats off cheesecake. I make onions cry. I get it. To me, Toni Storm, not only with her gimmick, her persona, her character, how she pours herself into it and lives it, is one of the best female grapplers in the world. She's in the category of Rhea Ripley, Tessa Blanchard, Charlotte Flair, Bianca Belair. You could even throw in Bayley. I mean, there's a few that I'm missing. Athena, great grappler, especially as Ember Moon as well. Not being used the right way. I don't believe she should win this championship. I know she already lost to Mercedes. What do you do if she loses a second title shot? Keep the title on Toni Storm. She's the best women's grappler in your company. Perhaps the best in the world. Just my opinion. So Toni against Athena, who's really been incredible. Again, she's an unbelievable talent. Very physical. So is Toni Storm. I wish she would get rid of the sexual innuendos. I don't watch women's wrestling for tits and ass. And, you know, you guys and gals out there, especially you guys, act like you've gotten a pair before or a sniff or something. Will you please? I watch for the women's physical ability, their in-ring performance, their storytelling, because they're athletes. It's oversaturated with the women's industry and business right now anyway. And how, because everything's got to be equal titles, equal matches, equal pay-per-views. When if you started a women's organization or a women's night representing the company, I think the ratings would be a bonanza, extravaganza. Not so much in the AEW, but in WWE. Just my opinion. And let's hope we don't trend down the whole intergender men versus women road. That would be a disaster. It's not believable. One night as a male grappler, you're going to bump and sell and register for a 250-pound physical specimen. And then the next night, you're bumping and selling for a 140-pound female. Because that's the trend in the fucking indies, and it's terrible. And I know all today's business, everybody's crying, you extremes on either side. You all want this because you act like you've never seen a woman before. Let's not do that. It will ruin the industry. 2025 and in the last a decade anyway, it's been the shits anyway. Shiznits. I apologize for the cussing. So that's who I'm taking. Monet, as I said, for the TBS title. And I'm taking the timeless one because the storm's coming for Toni to retain the title. Now, would I be shocked if they gave it to Athena? No. But I'm predicting Toni Storm. Then we have the main event. I guess. Who knows when it'll go on? Will it be last? Probably. Maxwell Jacob Freedom, the BBB, Friedman, Frank, whatever his name is, Max, against the Hangman Adam Page, who to me is not believable in his promos, not believable as the face of my company, not believable as a world heavyweight champion. He's a good talent. He's good in the ring. His promos have improved, but just his look, his presence, his persona, he's not the face of my company. He's not my world champion. Now, this is the second time they've done it, I believe. I have to mind like a lazy Susan. It'll come back around. I've been told sometimes the brain of a turnbuckle, but that's another story for another time. MJF, he's been floundering. He's lost his luster. He's still the number one guy in your company, I believe. But man, has he, from the injury and after the whole Wardlow debacle and the Devil and all the stuff with Jericho and then being injured and coming back, it's been up and down with feuds. The Hurt Syndicate made no fucking sense whatsoever. What are you going to do with Max? Is he going to take another L? Where do you go from there? Do you take it off Page so quickly? I say yeah, as a transitional champion. Not unless you have him planning on losing it to Darby Allin, because for some reason, you fans and TK and the front office of AEW and the IWC think Darby Allin's a world champion. He isn't. He doesn't have the look, the persona, anything. I get he captivates people. He's a wingnut. He's high risk. I've seen him in person. He worked for Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling. And the Paradise Evolve 95 Super Show. But he's not a world champion. Is that where they want to go with that with Darby Allin once he gets back? Have him take it from Page? Give it to Max. Let Page, it's not going to hurt him. He's been champ twice now. He can move on to other things. He's had unbelievable feuds. Give it back to Max. Let him run with it for about a year and a half. That's just my viewpoint, my opinion. You're wasting MJF right now in his time in AEW. He's kind of lost his way. You make him look like a freak and vulnerable. He's not sure of himself, but yet he's the devil. He's this. I mean, give it to Max. I don't think they're going to do it. I think there's going to be some sort of fuck somewhere around. Who knows? I think they want to keep it on Page, but if I'm with the pencil, I'm the booker, I'm in the office, I'm talking to TK, I want Max to get the title back. I want to get it on him now. Let's boost the ratings. Let's get your company going. Let's get some attention back on AEW. No matter what the ratings say, what TK says, what the IWC says, and all these geeks, give it to Max. It'll give immediate attention. It'll be the biggest story, and let him run with it. For well over a year with that title. He's earned it. It's time. Get this company back up or you're going to be in big trouble. And TNA's going to take the 2 spot. And I never thought I'd say that. I didn't have that on my fucking bingo card. And I apologize for the cussing. That's what I think is going to happen at Forbidden Door this Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The O2 Arena across the pond. Not one of their better shows, thrown together again. I'll say it all the time. Storytelling, emotional investment, ring psychology. They've advanced a little bit. There's been some stories here and there. You have the talent. This is just not a traditional Forbidden Door. Tony Khan always comes through on the pay-per-views to make them solid, to make them, you get your money's worth. I get it, especially with the length in the matches. Here comes the wife. We're a half an hour in. I gave you my predictions. MJF, Tony Storm, Mercedes Moné, Kyle Fletcher, the Hurt Syndicate. I'd like to see Swerve, but it'll be Okada. Sabre Jr., Edge and Christian. And then the lights out steel cage. Don't you dare miss it.